Hi, it's quite a while since my last video, but I traveled around the world. I spent some time in Asia, China, Australia, New Zealand, United States, but I'm back in Europe now and I want to make a video about amplifiers. I give you a short overview between the difference of solid state modeling, valve, tube, amplifier, combo, head. And so this is more for a beginner or intermediate, advanced and professionals. They know their stuff. So when you're a beginner, you want to start to learn to play the electric guitar, I give you some information now and let's start. We have two types of amplifiers, the valve tube amplifiers and the solid state modeling amplifiers. The solid-state modeling amplifiers are transistor, computerized modeling ones, and valve or tube is the same. In the UK they named them tube, in the United States they call them valve. The solid-state is a real basic transistor. They are low-priced, easy to play. The modeling, they are computerized and they are copying the sound of the valve tube amplifiers. What's the difference between a solid state, a valve tube and a modeling amplifier? What's the difference between a combo or a head? Let's go through the different amplifiers. First, the Plug Amplifier. As I said before, it's comfortable when because it's battery. It's a battery, so you don't need power. A power station. You can, while you're traveling, you can practice, but you can use it only with a headphone, or you can put in a small box. So, and this is a cheap possibility to have a electric sound on your guitar. Then after the earplug we have the mini micro amp. They're around $30 to $60 and they are quite comfortable. You can plug in or you can play with batteries. And to practice, I even saw a photo. I said before, Keith Richards used one. You know, when you're backstage, you want to try something, then it's quite comfortable. What's the difference between a solid state and the valve tube? As you can see, this is one of the smallest tube amplifier that Marshall builds. When you speak of valve or tube amplifiers, you think of a full stack, these big boxes and heads when you go to see a live gig of a big band. But valve and tube amplifiers can be as small as a solid state. What's the difference? Tube and valve is old-fashioned, that's a fact, but they sound great, that's also a fact, and they sound loud, that's also a fact. But imagine the old television we had 20, 30, 40 years ago with tubes and valves inside, big, huge, fat, heavy TVs, bad picture, and now we have the transistor, the modern flat screen TVs. Or imagine we would drive around in cars with valve and tube stereos, radios. We couldn't drive over 20 miles because the valve would break all the time and it would need so much space in the dashboard of a car, under the dashboard of a car. So you see, transistor, the modern thing, is much more efficient. But music isn't all about efficiency, it's about soul, about motion. This is the Marshall valve tube, only 5 watt, but it's quite loud. You can do much, no headphones, no tuning, no presets. It's just clean sound or a bit gain, and that's it. That's more or less what you can do with a valve. You need a stump box, you need a pedal board, and then you can play whatever you want. This is a 30 watt Vox. Marshall builds the same, Fender builds the same. Vox are a bit brighter in sound. Vox originally was a copy of Fender, so Fender Vox are a bit brighter, and Marshall is a bit heavier, a bit fatter in sound, but all those solid state combos between 10 and 40 watts, they are quite versatile and loud, and you can play quite a lot of different stuff. Then you can put quite a lot of different settings in, from acoustic to heavy metal, and also quite loud. Then you can plug in headphones, you don't disturb your neighbors. You can put your the difference between a combo and a head. Combo is the most comfortable, it's not too heavy, it's quite small, sounds great, and a head looks better when you have a rock or heavy metal band and you play a school venue or in a pub or even in a small hall. Then it looks much better to have a head. The problem with the heads are never turn on a head without connected to a box. A valve head or tube head will blow up. And the transistor head shouldn't be so fragile, but never turn on a head without be connected with a box. When you're keen to buy a head, then on the second-hand market, for example, for a few dollars, then look that the box doesn't have lower ohm than the head. That means when your head is an 8 ohm OHM, then don't buy a box with 4 ohm. Sooner or later it will blow up. If you find a head 8 ohm OHM and the box has 16 ohm, there isn't a problem. You can plug in, you can play, you will lose some power. For example, a 100 watt box will play around 70 watts. So around 1/3 of the power you will lose if the ohm is higher than the head. If it's lower, sooner or later you will blow up your amplifier. Never put an amplifier on a carpet, it will mute your amplifier. So put some books under the box, or even better would be an amplifier stand. So to improve the sound of your amplifier, never put it on the floor, always something under the amplifier or a stand. Second, take the shortest guitar cable you can, because when you because the the electric power that goes from the pickups to the amplifier is so weak that the cable is so fragile. If the cable is 5 meters long and wired around some other stuff or cables or power electric stuff, you will have a bad sound. So take the shortest cable from the amplifier to your guitar you can. It's better to have a 3-foot cable if you sit close to your amplifier and it's straightened, then you will have a better sound than when you have a long cable and it's lying around. And third, when you have a head, never take a guitar cable to connect between the box and the head, because they are both 6.3 millimeter jacks, but the problem is when you take a guitar cable, it's weaker than a real cable between the head and the box. So when you're gigging, it's possible that it overheats. Then you won't be happy when you have no sound anymore. When you're exercising in your house or in the garage, or you're playing at your school, there is not a big difference between a valve tube and a solid state, because the solid states are quite loud today and versatile. Why to buy a head, a full stack or a half stack or a combo? A full stack got 8 speakers, and Marshall usually they have 25 watts each speaker. So when you got a half stack, you have 4 times 25, that's 100 watt. A full stack got 8 speakers, so that's 8 times 25 watt, and it's 200 watts. But some speakers have 50 watts, then you would have a 400, or a half stack with 75, then you would have even a 300 watt box. But full stack, they really, when you play open air, big venues, but today, even in halls and open airs, they have their own PA. So they put the micro in front of your amplifier and then it goes over the house PA. So it's not as important as it was 30, 40 years ago when they played 5, 6 full stack rows of Marshalls, to get the sound they wanted. Even today, when you look, Paul McCartney, one of the greatest musician and most successful musician, then he plays a Fender combo and the rest goes through a micro, And so usually a full stack got 8 speakers. If you want to find out how strong your amplifier is, then you have to watch on the speaker behind 25, 50, 75, whatever. Full stack is 8, half stack is 4, that's that one, or the combo. The combos usually got 2 speakers, 2 12 inch, that means around 30 centimeters. So if you have a combo with 100 watts, then they are 2 speakers with 50 watt each. If it's a 50 like this one, they are 2 speakers with 25 watts. If you're not a professional musician, certainly at the moment the best for practicing at home, for playing small venues in pubs or at school. So a modeling amp would be the best. 50 watt, 25 watt, or even with 100 watt you can play bigger venues. So a modeling amp costs a few $100s. You have built in hundreds and hundreds of different settings, so you can play and sound like AC/DC, Deep Purple, or like a jazz or a country musician, guitar player. And they are loud now. Because they are computerized, some people are worrying to turn the knobs and to try all the stuff out because they fear to change the settings. There is absolutely no worries. You can try, you can turn, you can do whatever you want. And then when you restart, you can go back on the factory setting. For example, the Marshall, when you turn on, you have to keep your hand on the amp, and then it comes on, and then you can push the exit and you're back on the factory. So there is absolutely no worries, no problem to try whatever you want. The same with the Line 6 Spider Jam. You hold your finger on the setting while you're turning on the amplifier, and it goes back on the factory setting. So all the modeling amps you can do, you can play around, you can try everything you want, and you can always go back to the factory setting, so there is no risk when you turn and try to find your preferred sound. When you're a beginner or intermediate, then my favorite one is the Line 6 Spider Jam, 75 watts. And what's unbelievable with that one is you can plug in a microphone, so you can sing at the same time as you can play the guitar. You plug in here. You can use at the same time your MP3 player, so you can play your favorite backing track, you can sing, and you can play the guitar at the same time. There are a lot of presettings. It's a tuner, you can tune the guitar plugged in. There is a looper in there, so you can make your own licks play, and there is even a recorder on it, so when you make your own songs, you can record. So this is the most versatile amplifier I know. The price is around $400. It's not a lot of money, and with 75 watt you can play small gigs or in pubs. The second one is the PV Viper Pro 100. It's quite an expensive modeling amp, and it's quite complicated because the boxes are empty. You have to fill the boxes at your own. It takes a bit of time, but it got the best foot switch, the best pedal board. You can do nearly everything with the pedal, even a wah-wah, everything, a looper, everything is in the pedal. The number 2 is the Code 50. It's a tiny wonder box full of music and easy to use. But I just bought the Marshall Code 100H head with the box, a 412er, and I was so shocked about the quality. I even went to my neighbors, and my neighbors are in the music business for over 40 years, and they were so shocked when they heard and saw what you can get under $1,000. Kotak said to Matthias, do you see, we're playing old-fashioned gear, you know. And Herman, he gave me his drumsticks. He said, oh, if it's so easy now to learn to play the guitar, I want to switch to be a guitar player. Only Klaus, he said, oh great, finally we'll have a good guitar sound. But after we went to an art exhibition, they calmed down, and after a few drinks everything was fine again. Oh, I'm just kidding. They're still playing their old gear, their tubes and Wolf amplifiers as usual, don't worry. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you on another video. Thank you. Bye.